The crimson shards scream through the air, their jagged edges blurring into a chaotic sphere of light that threatens to overwhelm your senses. You don't try to dance with the mathematics or match Myron's surgical threading. Instead, you reach into the heart of the storm, identifying the central dodecahedron that serves as the simulation's anchor. You pull ETHERIUM not into a needle, but into a heavy, crushing weight. You manifest a kinetic anchor, a dense, invisible pressure that slams into the central shape. The shrieking of the shards stops instantly. The entire construct groans under the sudden imposition of your will. The spinning slows from a frantic blur to a heavy, labored grind, like gears caught in cooling tar. You can feel the feedback vibrating through your skull, a dull ache of resistance as the simulation tries to fight your forced stabilization.
Load variance is spiking. He's not solving the sequence. He's overriding the physics engine.
With a final, decisive surge of focus, you lock the central anchor. The surrounding shards snap into a rigid, trembling formation, frozen in place by the sheer density of the ETHERIUM you've packed into the core. The crimson light bleeds away, replaced by a steady, pressurized amber glow.
Brute force acuity. Unusual. You didn't find the pattern, student. You dictated it.
The sensor field dissipates as the technician cuts the power. You step out, your forehead damp with sweat, the mental strain leaving a sharp tang of copper in the back of your throat. Myron is still there, leaning against a stone pillar, her arms crossed. Her expression has shifted from a smirk to a narrow-eyed clinical appraisal.
Effective. Efficient? No. But I suppose if you can't untie the knot, crushing it works just as well.
The atmosphere in the chamber shifts as the third and final station activates. This is the test of impulse. A series of low-profile launchers emerge from the floor, their apertures humming with low-grade kinetic charges.
Phase 3. Impulse. Reactive shielding and deflection. The projectiles are non-lethal, but calibrated for maximum impact. Step into the circle.
The launchers begin to pivot, tracking your movement with predatory smoothness. This isn't about raw power or deep calculation. It is about how quickly your body can translate ETHERIUM into protection. Myron watches from the periphery, her fingers drumming against her arm as the first launcher clicks into a firing position. You drop into a low, athletic crouch, your weight shifting to the balls of your feet. You don't wait for the impact. You reach out into the space between you and the launchers, feeling the air as a medium to be manipulated. The first aperture flashes blue. A kinetic slug whistles toward your chest. Instead of raising a static shield, you snap your hand forward, releasing a focused puff of compressed ETHERIUM. The invisible hammer hits the projectile mid-flight, knocking it off course to shatter against a distant stone pillar.
Multiple vectors detected. Launchers 2, 4, and 5 engaging.
The air becomes a chaotic web of whistling projectiles. You move with the frantic elegance of a conductor, your hands blurring as you flick short, violent bursts of energy. Each strike is a sharp crack, like a whip breaking the sound barrier. You aren't just defending. You are intercepting, meeting the aggression halfway with a proactive rhythm that keeps the center of the circle untouched.
He's not waiting for the hit. He's hunting the trajectory.
A final volley of 6 slugs fires simultaneously in a converging pattern. You spin, a golden trail of ETHERIUM following your heel as you sweep your arm in a wide arc. A crescent-shaped wave of force rolls outward, catching all 6 projectiles and slamming them into the floor with a heavy, metallic thud. The launchers retract into the floor, their apertures cooling with a final hiss of steam. Silence returns to the assessment chamber, save for your heavy, rhythmic breathing.
Assessment complete. Quanta, exceptional. Acuity, dominant. Impulse, reactive and precise.
She turns to the technician, who is frantically finalizing the data on his slate.
Log the results. The first-year record is updated. Wyndra, you have set a formidable baseline for this cohort.
The tension in the room breaks. Other students whisper, their eyes trailing you as you step out of the circle. Myron pushes off from her pillar, her silver blonde braid catching the light as she walks toward you. There is no smirk this time, only the look of a strategist reevaluating the board. The ionization in the air begins to settle, the sharp ozone scent of the kinetic slugs fading into the familiar musk of the chamber's ancient stone. You wipe a bead of sweat from your brow, your muscles still twitching with the residual lightning of the impulse trial. As the adrenaline recedes, the weight of the embroidered mystic weaver robes feels substantial again, a reminder of the physical cost of such a performance.
That was more taxing than the theory. How did your impulse scores compare?
Myron stops a few paces away, her posture regaining its effortless, practiced poise. She considers the question, her eyes tracing the cooling launchers in the floor before returning to yours.
My efficiency was higher, but your response time on the final volley was unexpected. You don't move like someone who has spent their life in a library.
A healthy comparison. Competition is the whetstone of the Institute, provided it doesn't turn to friction too early.
The director steps toward the center of the hall, her charcoal jacket stark against the warm stone. She looks at the gathered students, her expression shifting from evaluation to a quiet, ceremonial gravity.
The baseline is set. Your attributes are now a matter of the ETHERIUM record. But a practitioner without a focus is merely a reservoir without a channel.
She gestures toward the far end of the chamber, where a set of reinforced silverwood doors stands waiting.
Follow me. The weapons matched to your profiles are waiting. It is time for the matching ceremony.
ETHERIUM record ==. Wyndra Year 1 weapon. None. Prestige. Odd coin. 400 EC facilities. Basic. Quanta 7. Conductance 3. Resonance 2. Acuity 6. Endurance 3. Impulse 5. ==. The director leads you, and Myron up the shallow steps of the dais. The rest of the cohort remains below, watching in hushed silence. Arranged in a circle around the platform are several weapon cases, their locks clicking open in a synchronized mechanical chorus as you approach. The director stops before two specific cases. One holds a weapon wrapped in velvet, its shape long and elegant. The other contains something heavier, the metal gleaming with a dull, hungry light. You feel a strange, magnetic pull toward the center of the dais, your quanta reacting to the dormant potential of the steel. The air on the dais is different, colder, yet more vibrant. As you step forward, the tiles beneath your bare feet thrum with the collective resonance of the unbonded steel nearby. You move past the lighter cases toward the one that pulls at your core, the metal within vibrating in a low, subsonic frequency that matches the steady beat of your own heart.
I am ready to see what the Institute has forged for me.
Director Valden moves to the heavy, obsidian-trimmed case at the center. With a deliberate gesture, she pulls back the silk shroud. Resting on a bed of dark gray wool is a massive, single-edged blade. Its spine is thick and notched, crafted from a matte black alloy that seems to drink the light, while the edge itself is polished to a mirror sheen that reflects a golden amber tint.
Based on your quanta detonation and the force you applied during the acuity trial, the faculty matched you with this. It is a focus for those who do not just channel energy, but command it.
You reach out, your fingers closing around the charcoal leather grip. The moment your skin makes contact, the amber line in the blade flares to life. A violent surge of gold energy travels up your arm, not as a shock, but as a homecoming. The weight of the weapon, which should be cumbersome, suddenly feels like a natural extension of your own reach.
The resonance is immediate. It usually takes minutes for a commoner to find the frequency.
It has been named Calamity's Anchor. Use it to steady the storm you carry, Wyndra.
You lift the greatsword, the amber glow of the blade illuminating your face and the intricate embroidery of your robes. The weapon feels alive, hungry for the next surge of your ETHERIUM. The director steps back, her eyes fixed on the stable bond you've already formed, while Myron watches you with a new, sharp intensity. The weight of the greatsword is balanced perfectly against your center of gravity. You shift your grip, the charcoal leather creaking under your palm, and begin a slow, deliberate sweep. The massive blade cuts through the air with a low, predatory hum, the amber line within the dark metal glowing brighter as it nears the legacy student.
Careful, Mirren. I'd hate for my unrefined output to scuff your family crest.
Myron doesn't flinch, but her pupils dilate as the edge of the blade stops exactly 3 inches from her shoulder. The sheer heat radiating from the ETHERIUM-charged steel stirs the fine hairs at her temples. She stares at the mirror-polished edge, her reflection distorted in the amber-tinted metal, before slowly shifting her gaze back to yours.
Control is a better look on you than raw force, Wyndra. But don't mistake my silence for vulnerability. At this range, I could have severed your conductance flow before you finished the arc.
That is enough. The matching ceremony is a moment of alignment, not a sparring session. Sheathe the blade.
You rotate your wrist, bringing the heavy weapon back to a neutral rest. The director's gaze lingers on the way the amber light of the sword harmonizes with the gold embroidery of your mystic weaver robes.
The bond is established. Calamity's anchor has accepted your signature. Tomorrow, your formal training begins in the intermediate halls.
For now, take your weapon and return to the old rank dormitories. You have earned your rest.
The director turns to attend to the next student, leaving you and Myron on the edge of the dais. The legacy student adjusts her burgundy vest, her eyes still fixed on the dark alloy of your greatsword. The initial friction between you has settled into something more complex, a mutual recognition of power. You adjust the heavy grip of Calamity's anchor, the leather still warm from your initial bond. A subtle, daring energy flickers in your chest as you catch Myron's gaze, refusing to let the director's dismissal end the moment on a purely academic note.
I'll be in the training halls early tomorrow. I'd hate to keep my benchmark waiting.
Myron's composure wavers for the briefest of seconds. Her cool, aristocratic mask doesn't slip, but her silver blonde braid brushes against her shoulder as she tilts her head, her sharp eyes scanning your face for any sign of hesitation. The gold sunburst on her lapel gleams, reflecting the dying amber light of your blade.
Boldness again. It seems to be your primary attribute, Wyndra.
She steps closer, the scent of expensive parchment and a faint, sharp metallic tang, likely her own ETHERIUM signature, trailing with her. She stops well within your personal space, her voice dropping to a level intended only for you.
Don't oversleep. I don't enjoy waiting for commoners to find their rhythm. If you're late, I'll take it as an admission that today was merely a lucky surge.
She turns with a fluid, practiced grace, her burgundy skirt swirling as she descends the dais. You watch her move toward the exit, the greatsword in your hand pulsing with a final, satisfied thrum before the amber light settles into a dormant, internal glow. The director follows shortly after, herding the rest of the cohort toward the dormitories. You are left alone for a moment on the private dais, the weight of your new weapon and your new life finally sinking in. The assessment chamber is quiet now, the humming machinery of the Ardia technicians powered down into standby mode. You stand at the threshold of your first night at ETHERIUM Institute, the heavy weight of calamity's anchor strapped to your back. The path to the odd-rank dormitories is clear, but the adrenaline still dances in your veins.